Here in Germany, in Freiburg. Freiburg are in banging form in this one and chasing another team that are banging form. Eintracht Frankfurt today. Final day of the Bundesliga season. There's all sorts going on today. And yeah, really looking forward to this one. So let me know what your thoughts are. There's not been any goals going in anywhere else just yet. We will keep you informed. There is a penalty at Dortmund against Holstein Kiel. It looks like it's going to be a penalty to Dortmund, and as it stands, it looks like Dortmund might just be sneaking ahead of Freiburg. If they were to get the win there, Dortmund could be nicking in front of Freiburg. I just wonder. Freiburg need to get something today against Eintracht Frankfurt. Frankfurt are already pretty much qualified, aren't they? They're already qualified for the Champions League. They could still finish below Dortmund, I guess, if they were to. Excuse me, 1 second. Let me just get going. I don't know why that's all happened. Yeah, if they were to lose today against Freiburg, then it could all happen. But we've got a goal arena going on as well. It's live on Sky Sports Red Button. If you haven't already checked, it's live on Sky Sports Red Button. Eintracht Frankfurt against Freiburg. You can watch any of the others as well. You can watch Bayern Munich against Hoffenheim. You can watch Leipzig against Stuttgart. Dortmund against Holstein Kiel. Dortmund have just scored that penalty, by the way. Seru Girassi has scored. It's 1-0 to Dortmund. So yeah, all sorts going on. But I do just want to say, before we get stuck into the live, I want to say a massive thank you to our sponsors. Match Bingo. Match Bingo are absolutely fantastic. They're supporting the channel, and if you've never heard of Match Bingo before, I am absolutely certain you will do. They're a great app, a great new app, genius app that combines all the excitement of a bet on the football, which we all love, bet on the footy, with all the fun and excitement that you would associate with bingo. Go and check them out. They're absolutely brilliant. Right now, if you scan the QR code that's live on screen, or if you click the link in the description, you can go and deposit £5, set up an account, and you will see that you get £10 free. Set up an account, deposit £5, £10 free to try it out and give it a whirl. It's a really cool app. Go and check it out. Over £200,000 of prize money already paid out, and over 10,000 people in the UK are playing. So it's growing really quickly. But in the meantime, yeah, let's get stuck into Freiburg and Eintracht Frankfurt. It's 1-0 already to Dortmund. Frankfurt and Freiburg are a minute in. So we're all up. We're up and underway. Let's go through the teams. Let's go through the lineups. Why don't we? In goal for Freiburg, it is Atu Bolu, who has been linked with Manchester United. He has been linked with Manchester United, I believe. He's had a number of games where he's been injured and on the bench recently, but before that, he was very reliable. Had some really good performances earlier in the season, not least against Augsburg. He was fantastic against Augsburg. I think he had a good game against Bayern as well, didn't he? Decent game against Bayern. But yeah, Atubolu in goal. Then it's Rosenfelder, Ginter, Lionheart and Makengo at the back. Ritsu Doan on the right. Edgestein and Manzambi in midfield with Vincenzo Grifo on the left. And Holler behind Junior Adamu up front. Junior Adamu's not had a particularly solid season. Still only 2 goals for him. Same could be said of Lucas Holler. Some big players missing, of course, for Freiburg. Eren Dinkji, one of those who's been out for most of the season. Same with Kjere and Ogbus as well. Bruno Ogbus, young defender. So for Eintracht Frankfurt, let's cover off Eintracht Frankfurt. It's Kevin Trapp in goal. Kevin Trapp in goal, not Kelvin Trapp. Kevin Trapp, Collins, Robin Koch, and Theater on the left. Brown and Christensen in the fullback areas. Larson and Schiri. It's just off the post in the Stuttgart RB Leipzig game, by the way. Christensen and Brown on the wings. And then it's Nauf, Farashchebi and Ekatike up front. Hugo Ekatike up front. Obviously, lots of links linking him to Liverpool, to other Premier League clubs. Maybe if you're interested in watching Hugo Ekatike today, this is a game to keep your eye on. But there is all sorts of action going on across the Bundesliga today. We'll be keeping our eye on Leipzig and Stuttgart. We'll also be keeping our eye on Bayern Munich, Hoffenheim, Dortmund, who are already 1-0 up against Holstein Kiel, and all the other games going on around the Bundesliga today. Mainz against Leverkusen, St. Pauli against Bochum, Hoffenheim, Bayern, Heidenheim against Bremen as well. Heidenheim against Bremen is going to be an interesting one to watch, and obviously Augsburg against Berlin. So yeah, let's keep updated on those as we go along. Interested to get your thoughts, not just on the Bundesliga, but all the football that's been going on over the last week, and various other bits of football news that's been creeping out over the last couple of days as well, no less. Yo, good to see you, Wim. How's it going, mate? Good to see you. Right, so Freiburg getting forward here. Chance. Ah, it's a goal for Leipzig as well. Goal for Leipzig. Xavi Simons. And he's giving the whole talk thing as well. It's just popped up. There's a goal for Leipzig. They're 1-0 up against Stuttgart. Xavi Simons has scored. 1-0. That's a big goal. And what does that mean for the top of the table? Because it means that Leipzig, they can't catch Freiburg. But it does mean that Leipzig leapfrog Mainz into that 6th Europa spot. Would it be the Europa or Europa Conference League? I think it'd be Conference League. It might be Conference League for RB Leipzig next season. Conference League for RB Leipzig. What do we think to that? That feels like a bit of a fall from grace, doesn't it? Quite a fall from grace, you've got to say, for RB Leipzig to be in the Conference League next year. Ethan, Hibbs, good to see you, mate. How's it going? St. Pauli 0, Bochum 1. Yep, St. Pauli 0, Bochum 1. Doesn't really change an awful lot for Bochum. Sadly, Bochum are already down. It does mean, however, Myron Bodu, ex-AZ Alkmaar Myron Bodu, isn't he? He has put Bochum, bottom of the table, Bochum, in the lead against St. Pauli. It does mean that Heidenheim, if they were to get a win over Werder Bremen, they would be safe. Would they? Would they be safe? Could they be safe? I don't know. I think Heidenheim are already down, actually. No, they'd be down on goal difference. They'd have to win quite considerably. They'd have to win by 4 or 5 against Werder Bremen to stay up. Tom, who have you got winning this game? I've got Freiburg. Yeah, I think this will be a really close one. But I've got Freiburg to win it. So you'll have to let me know what you're thinking on that one. But yeah, 1-0 Dortmund, 1-0 Leipzig, and a red card to Holstein Kiel as well. Johansson's been sent off. Karl Johansson has been sent off for Holstein Kiel. I think Dortmund are going to walk it now. And what that does mean, is, given that Dortmund are likely to win, it means that Freiburg have to win. Have to win here. They have to. Frankfurt are already secure. They've already got their Champions League football wrapped up. Doesn't make a difference for them. They can't finish any lower than 4th. Freiburg can maybe get to third. They could finish third, Freiburg. That'd be a great season for them. And they could finish third, believe it or not. If they were to win 1-0 today, Freiburg, there's a chance that they would finish third in the table with a negative goal difference. Can you believe that? A negative goal difference having finished third in the Bundesliga. It'd be incredible, wouldn't it? I've never known a team to finish so high and potentially have a negative goal difference. It'd be unreal. Thank you for the follow, Sulaya. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Good to see you. Reki, if not score 2 goals, they go to the extra time or no? Yeah. Hello, mate. Love your stream. Would like to be a fan and a friend. Add me on Discord. Mate, cool. Yeah, make sure you get over to YouTube and give us a like and a follow and a subscribe as well. Most people tend to watch us over there. So, yeah, definitely. Love the energy. Appreciate that, mate. If you can give us a like and a follow on YouTube, it'll make a massive, massive difference. If you can, listen, if you're planning on watching the game with us, get over to YouTube. You get a slightly better view. You get goal animations. Makes a difference. And you get better audio quality too. Leipzig pushing away. Yeah, it's not really going all that well for Leipzig. Stuttgart are pushing forward. Freiburg are doing the same. Yeah, Freiburg are doing the same. Penalty to Werder Bremen, says Wim. Wow. There you go. Steve, how you doing? Good to see you, Steve. How did you feel about last night? How did you feel about last night's game as a Man United fan? Wim, I'm going to update your other games. Okay, cheers, mate. Well, I'll keep you updated on Freiburg. We have got the goal arena that goes in here. It's live on Sky Sports main event via the red button. So you can access it, and the goals, as they go in, they get played. So it's pretty good. Pretty good coverage on Sky Sports. And Bremen has scored. Heidenheim 0, Bremen 1. Steve, we played well, to be honest, better than we did in the last Premier League game. So, yeah, I mean, it's still more defeats, though, isn't it? It's that run of defeats going into such a big game. Does that concern you at all? I mean, the fact that you've lost against Brentford, you've lost against Chelsea, you've lost against Wolves, you lost against West Ham. All of that in just the last few weeks. I mean, even Bournemouth, you know, if not for the Højlund deflected kind of Burley onside goal, it could have all been defeat for the last 4 to 6 weeks. Cheers for that. Appreciate that, Kieran. Yeah, I've just caught up with the chat. And Mainz have scored against Xabi Alonso's Leverkusen as well. It's 1-0 to Mainz. Teddy, Eintracht Frankfurt, yes. Eintracht Frankfurt are not playing too badly, I've got to say. Not playing too badly at all. It is still 0-0. And Freiburg, if they do finish 0-0, if they do finish 0-0, then there is a chance. I mean, they'll get European football, which is still not a bad season for Freiburg, but it's a little bit like Nottingham Forest. I'm sure they would look at it and go, oh, we were so close. We were so close to getting Champions League football. But yeah, Freiburg have started all right. They've had a couple of corners. The only real shots have come from Freiburg, but Frankfurt, they've got hold of the ball. They are playing all right. They're knocking it about all right when they are having possession of the ball. Admittedly, Freiburg have had most of it, but Frankfurt haven't looked terrible so far. Chance here for Stuttgart as well. Unlucky. Really unlucky. Steve, it does a bit, to be honest. Just hope we can turn it on in the final. Yeah, it's going to be interesting, that final. Can't wait for it. We're 4 days away from the Manchester United v Spurs Europa League final, so make sure you stick with us. Got lots of Manchester United fans in the chat, lots of Spurs fans in the chat as well. Flying in, giving comments on that final. That's going to be a big one. I'm a Liverpool fan, so I'm going to be pretty bold in saying that I'm hoping for a Spurs win. James, favourite German team, Key? My favourite German team? I haven't really got one, you know. I haven't really got one. I don't know. I quite like Hamburg. I've always liked Hamburg. I liked Cologne. Wolfsburg. There's a few, to be honest. Yeah, there's a few. Just glad we got no new injuries last night. Yeah, that's the other thing, isn't it? And you've got to wonder what happens with Lenny Yoro. Do we think Lenny Yoro makes the final? Nomi chose carefully. Union Berlin for me. Wow, okay. See, I was gonna say, I haven't got a strong feeling to any German club in particular. I like watching the Bundesliga. Maybe I'll develop a German team. I don't know. Maybe maybe one could take my fancy, and I quite like them. I haven't really got. I feel like I've only got just enough emotional labour to be a Liverpool fan. So, yeah, I love Fiorentina. I love Betis. They're probably my Italian and Spanish teams, respectively. Quite like Feyenoord in the Eredivisie. That's pretty much it. In France, I quite like Auxerre. In Germany, I've never really felt strongly about one particular team. I like a lot of them. The only thing I would say is I don't like Bayern Munich. I don't like Bayern Munich. I've never been a fan of Bayern Munich. Dortmund maybe a little bit because of the Klopp sort of, they and Mainz as well. Mainz and Dortmund because of the Klopp factor. So I've no problem with Dortmund or Mainz. But there's been lots of Liverpool players who've done well over in Germany. So, and Kevin Keegan, Hamburg. Zach Clips, I need Freiburg to win for 700 quid. Cash out is 200. Take the cash, Zach. Take it. Take the cash. Right, so as it stands across the Bundesliga right now, it's 1-0 to Bochum. It's 1-0 to Leipzig here against Stuttgart as well. It's 0-0 here, Freiburg and Frankfurt. 1-0 to Bremen against Heidenheim. That's against the run of play, I'm led to believe, as well. Still 0-0 in Augsburg and Union Berlin. Still 0-0 in the game between Hoffenheim and Bayern. 0-0 Mainz and Leverkusen. Goal disallowed there for Mainz. It was Nadia Amiri, who scored for Mainz, and that was ruled out. So, nothing as yet happening in the other ones. Obviously, still Dortmund ahead. Max, I am outside of the stadium right now. Why are you outside the stadium? You're outside Man United? Or you're in Bilbao, aren't you? Sorry. You're in Bilbao, aren't you? Kean Groves, Liverpool are so bad, no one cared about them winning the league. No one believes that, Kean. Noemi, it's not allowed to be a Bayern Munich fan unless you were born there. Others are a-holes. Okay, I'll accept that. Yeah, I was gonna say I've never really felt strongly about. I quite like Bremen. I quite like Wolfsburg. There's a lot of German teams I like, and there's some beautiful parts of Germany. I'd quite like to go and see a little bit more. Germany is a country I've not done too much travelling across, so I would maybe I'll settle and become a bit of a German football nut. But yeah, Munich, absolutely not. They can get in the bin, Bayern Munich. This is much better from Freiburg, though. I've got to say, it is much better. They've started to play much better. They're putting a lot of pressure on. Frankfurt. I think they know, obviously, what's happening in the Dortmund game against Holstein Kiel. They're 1-0 up Dortmund. Kiel are a man down, so it looks like, as it stands, Freiburg are going to have to win here. They're going to have to win to get Champions League football. Schuster knows it. The coach knows it. And again, we talk about coaches, young German coaches. Herzler doing really well. Now, Schuster doing really well at Freiburg. He's going to be one to watch. Even Topmuller's, Topmuller has had a good season at Frankfurt. He's not an old coach by any stretch of the imagination. It's these German coaches who are leading the way in terms of, revolutionary thinking and pioneering styles of football that is going to be taking the Premier League by storm, I'm sure. We've seen a little bit of that with Arne Slot from the Eredivisie. Feels like the German league is next. We're going to see the next Bundesliga wave coming into the Premier League. Not seen much of Hugo Ekitike so far. That was my thought when I was deciding which Bundesliga game should we watch going into the final day of the season. My thought was, should we do like a scouting mission? Should we do a scouting mission for them? For Ekitike. Oh, and they've scored. RB Leipzig and Stuttgart have scored. It's 1-1. It's 1-1 in the game in Leipzig. Teddy, Jurgen Klopp. Yeah, love Jurgen Klopp. Hero. Absolute hero. One of the true greats. Cheers for liking the live, mate. Appreciate that. Adam, 464AD, thoughts on Liverpool squad partying in Ibiza before the season ending? Brilliant. It's fantastic, isn't it? We've got the league wrapped up that well, that quickly, that actually it doesn't matter. And we've been partying in Ibiza and Dubai before the end of the season. Leon909, do you think Crystal Palace can win today? I hope they do. Yeah, we all hope they do, mate. We're all rooting for a Crystal Palace win. Unless you're a Man City fan, a Brighton fan, a Bournemouth fan, or a Brentford fan, there's really only everyone else is hoping for a City win. Sorry, for a Palace win. I hope that Palace will, but if I'm really, really honest, if I'm dead honest, I think that City will just about get it done. City beat Palace 5-2 last time out at the Etihad, and they could have won that by much more in the end. So, yeah, I'm hoping that Oliver Glasner has something up his sleeve. I'm hoping tactically Oliver Glasner has, because he mentioned that, didn't he? After City beat Palace 5-2, he did say that he thought, this bodes well for the FA Cup final because now Pep can't play this way again. So yeah, I do wonder whether or not Glasner might have something in mind for him. Michael, quite a few Portuguese and Spanish coaches figuring in the Premier League. Yeah. I mean, Amorim, maybe not so much. He's not been a particularly good one for him. But there's been other Premier League. Look at Vitor Pereira. Vitor Pereira's done well since he's come in at Wolves. I know he's not German per se, but Oliver Glasner, who we've just been talking about, spent many years coaching in the Bundesliga, didn't he? With Frankfurt, with Wolfsburg as well, didn't he? Spent a long time, coaching in the Bundesliga. So I think there certainly seems to be a rise to prominence of coaches coming from the Bundesliga. I think we're getting a lot of good young coaches coming out of the Bundesliga. Sad lack of British coaches in the Premier League. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Again, but that's, in part, that's because there isn't really all that many British coaches, I think, playing in a style of... They don't seem to have a very clear style of play, and I think that is because of the way that English football is. It's like an English culture thing. That is English culture. There isn't... The idea that you can have one very clear style of play is almost antithetical to English football. Like, you listen to people, good managers, by the way, like Sean Dyche, right? Sean Dyche, experienced manager, he went onto the Overlap the other day, and all he talked about was how ridiculous it was that teams have, one clear way of playing, and it should be, why don't you have players who can run forward and run back? Why don't you have players who, you can play in multiple systems? Which, funnily enough, that is what Arne Slot thinks as well. But for many, many years, it's always been, well, what style of play does he play? Does he play a 4-3-3 or a 4-4-2 or a 4-5-1 or 4-2-3-1? Does he prefer gegenpress or tiki-taka? It's all that sort of thing. What does he press like? Does he press high? Does he like to have inverted fullbacks? Like, that's kind of against how English football is. English football expects the managers to flex depending on the opponent, depending on the game. And yeah, I think that's why we probably don't see as many English coaches. Because English coaches... I mean, look at Rosenior. Rosenior's doing very well in Strasbourg. Very, very well in Strasbourg. And he's playing in a very flexible system as well over there. Getting the best out of some good players, the likes of Omega and various others he's got doing well. We're doing Strasbourg against Le Havre tonight. Kieran Baines, love to see Crystal Palace in the Europa League. Yeah, it'd be good, wouldn't it? It'd be good. And Oliver Glasner's teams would deserve it. Michael, will you be covering the Club World Cup in June? Yes, we'll definitely be doing the Club World Cup in June. The Women's Euros in Switzerland in July. So, we haven't got anything planned for July in terms of lives, right? We've planned... Or I say we. I keep saying we like it's anyone other than me. It's just me. I have looked at the schedule for June, and yes, we're doing pretty much all the Club World Cup games that we can. So we'll be doing lives for that. We'll be doing pre-season games. We're going to be doing some, maybe MLS games, maybe some Norwegian League. The Eliteserien is still running over the summer months. So we'll probably do some random games, some lives where we're just doing watch-alongs of some weird leagues. And yes, I'm game for doing some of the women's Euros. But I'll level with you. I've said it quite a few times. I don't know anywhere near enough about the women's game. I don't know any of the players. I don't know which teams are good. I don't know which national teams are good. I don't know which club teams are good. So I am embarrassingly naive when it comes to the women's game. But yes, I would be game for watching some. Over the July month where there's not really an awful lot going. Oh, I've missed a goal. Christ, I've been talking about that. Freiburg have scored. It's 1-0. It's 1-0. We've got to get the counter going. The clock's off. The counter's off. Everything. Absolute nightmare here. It's 1-0 Freiburg, and that's it. That's a big goal. That's a very, very big goal. It's Doan who scored it. Let's just watch it back. Michael Rosino was harshly sacked. Rosenior was harshly sacked by Hull City last year by just missing out on the Championship playoffs. Hull City just avoided relegation this season. They did, yeah, just with a draw on the last day against Portsmouth. But yeah, it was Ginter who crossed it in, who put it in, and Ritsu Doan has got the goal for Freiburg. I don't know why I said crossed it in. I didn't mean cross it in. That's because the goal arena popped up and there was a cross coming in for Bayern Munich against Hoffenheim. So he didn't cross it in. That's not what I was meaning. I didn't mean that. I'm all over the place. All the goals are shooting in and we'd lost the scoreboard. But we're now up to scratch. Mainz have just scored as well. Mainz has just scored. Hanch Olsen have finally scored 1-0 against Leverkusen. But all the games all the goals are now starting to fly in. St. Pauli still 1-0 down against bottom of the table Bochum. Leipzig 1, Stuttgart 1 in that one. Mönchengladbach 0, Wolfsburg 0. Mainz 1, Leverkusen 0. Bayern and Hoffenheim are still 0-0. Bremen are beating Heidenheim 1-0. Dortmund are beating Holstein Kiel 1-0. Augsburg and Union Berlin are 0-0. And obviously Freiburg and Frankfurt 1-0. Which means that as it stands, it is Freiburg in third, Frankfurt in fourth, and Dortmund in fifth. And Frankfurt are ahead on goal difference. Frankfurt have got a plus 19 goal difference. Dortmund have got a plus 18. Oh my God. So does that mean then, if Dortmund score again, do they go ahead? I think if Dortmund score one more against Holstein Kiel, they might get Champions League football ahead of Frankfurt. Is that right? Yes, score goal difference. It's going to be goal difference. Dortmund might get ahead on goal difference here. They might finish ahead of Frankfurt just on goal difference. That would be a cruel, cruel end to the season. That is going to be a cruel, cruel end to the season. Bayern Munich have just scored against Hoffenheim. 1-0. Michael Elise, that man has scored. Oh my God, I can't believe that. I cannot believe that. Dortmund might still just sneak in. Oh, and again, Mainz's goal's been ruled out. Mainz's goal has been ruled out. Again, that's 2 goals that Mainz have had disallowed already in the opening 20-30 minutes against Bayer Leverkusen. Cheers, Wim. Yeah, Doan goal, ex-PSV. He is, of course, ex-PSV. Ex-Groningen as well, isn't he? Ritsu Doan. Honeyed Voices. I'm moving to Freiburg and they could have Champions League. They could, yeah. Dortmund could still sneak in. Michael Wilstill, another British manager, is also managing in France League 1 at RC Lens. He's strongly being linked to Southampton. Yeah, Wilstill's highly thought of, isn't he? Wilstill and Liam Rosenior. Wilstill isn't at Lens though, is he? He's not at Lens. Wilstill is, isn't he at Ream? Oh no, he is at Lens. Has he moved? When did I miss that? He's not been at Lens all the time, has he? He was at Ream. I've missed that. I don't know why I've thought to myself that he's at Ream still. And Mainz have scored again. Is this one going to be disallowed this time? I wonder. Is this one going to be disallowed? Somehow I don't think so. Ed Rosenthal, what match? We're watching Freiburg 1, Eintracht Frankfurt 0 in the Bundesliga. It's the final day of the Bundesliga season. It's absolute chaos going on. Potentially, if Eintracht Frankfurt lose this one, Freiburg have to win, Frankfurt have to get at least a point, and Dortmund, if they score one more Dortmund against 10-man Holstein Kiel have already had a man sent off. If Dortmund score one more, they go above Eintracht Frankfurt on goal difference. So, all still to be decided there. All still to be decided. Liam Phillips, prediction for the FA Cup, pal. We're going to be doing the FA Cup straight after this game, mate. I think that it's going to be a City win. I'm hoping for Palace. I'm really, really rooting for Palace. I'd love it if Palace got the job done. But somehow I think City will just about do it. I think they're too good. City are too good. Ed Rosenthal, Bayern wins 1-0. Yeah, Leipzig, Stuttgart 1-1. It is, yeah. Leipzig and Stuttgart is 1-1. Freiburg 1-0 up. Leverkusen are 1-0 down. The Mainz goal has stood this time. So you'll have to let me know what you're thinking about some of the others. Bremen are 2-0 up. Everyone else, really. I mean, basically the bottom 4 teams are all losing, apart from rock bottom Bochum. So Kiel are losing, Heidenheim are losing, Hoffenheim are losing, and St. Pauli are losing. And unless Heidenheim turns it around, there's not really an awful lot that's happening down there in those relegation places. I think even if Heidenheim do turn it around, the goal difference is so strong. So Michael still took over at RC Lens at the start of the 2024 season. He left Ream in 2024. Right, okay, that does make sense then. Someone was talking to me the other day about Will Still being still at Stade Ream, and I thought, I don't know, yeah. Maybe that's what's threw me. Wim in Germany, FC Bayern fan. Okay, Ed Rosenthal, Stuttgart probably win. I hope not. I think Leipzig can get the job done there. And I'm hoping that Freiburg get the job done here. I'd like to see Freiburg in the Champions League. Be good to see him. Adam 464AD, word is Wirtz going. Well, we've got some German fans in the chat who watch a lot more Bundesliga than perhaps we do on this channel. We watch a fair bit of Bundesliga on this channel, but if you are a German fan, if you're a Bundesliga fan, or if you've got maybe any interest in the whole Florian Wirtz transfer saga, let me know what you're thinking about that. As a Liverpool fan, I've got to say, I don't think he will come to Liverpool. I think he will almost certainly go to Bayern Munich in the end. I know that Leverkusen and Bayern Munich don't particularly see eye to eye. They aren't particularly friendly when it comes to transfer negotiations. There haven't been many players who've moved directly between the two clubs over the last 20 years. I think the last time there was significant direct transfer activity between Leverkusen and Bayern, it was around 22 years ago when, within about 12 months, Bayern Munich took Leverkusen's 3 best players from them. Ziriberto, Lucio and Michael Ballack all left Leverkusen and all went to Bayern Munich. And since then, it's not always been the best relationship. And I think relationships continued to sour when Bayern tried to take Jonathan Tah last season from Leverkusen as well. So I'm really not sure about Florian Wirtz. Personally, I think he's almost certain to end up at Bayern in the end. Just because Bayern Munich, they always tend to get their man in the Bundesliga. They usually do get what they want. And I can't see a world where Liverpool or City pay 150 million for Florian Wirtz. So unless there's any movement in the transfer fee, we'd see. Honeyed Voices. Freiburg could become only other team in the top 5 leagues to qualify for the Champions League with a negative goal difference since Everton in 04-05. Really? Now that is interesting. I didn't know that. Thank you for sharing that with us. That is incredibly interesting, isn't it? The only team to qualify for the Champions League with a negative goal difference. Freiburg. Last team to do it was Everton in 04-05. That's mega. That's really good. Callum, Kieran, do you follow true crime? Well, I am a big crime fan. Massively. If we're talking about true crime, as in I watch lots and lots of documentaries on that sort of stuff. Yes, I do. Sam Holloway, Wirtz ends up at Bayern. Xavi Simons ends up at Liverpool City or Liverpool. I'd love Xavi Simons. Yeah. Ed Rosenthal, for me, Leipzigers are overrated. Okay. I'm not sure I agree with that. I think Leipzig have got a very, very good team. They've not been particularly well managed this season. Adam 464AD, Juventus and Bayern Munich have a chokehold on transfers in their respective leagues. Yeah, they do tend to get what they want, don't they? Augsburg have scored 1-0 to Augsburg against Union Berlin. Philip Tietz has scored. Adam, whoever wins the Europa League final will also have a negative goal difference joining the Champions League. That's true. That is also true. There you go, honeyed voices. Adam has just pointed out quite rightly that we'll have another team in the Champions League next season that will absolutely have negative goal difference in either Spurs or Manchester United. I'm really looking forward to that game. I'm so looking forward to that game. Come on, Spurs, please. For the love of football, please, Spurs beat Man United. It's going to be so funny. So funny. Jonathan Guzman, 3791. Rumour has it Palace winning the FA Cup and Mateta is scoring. Spurs have a positive goal difference. Do they really? Oh, well, there you go then. Well, Spurs won't then. Because Spurs will be in the Champions League. They're the ones that's going to win it. No Skill Aaron United. Cody CD rent-free. Jonathan Guzman, rumour has it Palace is winning the FA Cup and Mateta is scoring. Come on, Mateta. There's nobody better than Jean-Philippe Mateta. Michael Kieran, as a Liverpool supporter, how do you feel about Everton playing their last match at Goodison tomorrow and moving to their impressive-looking new stadium? Very sad, Michael, is the honest answer. Very, very sad. We're doing the game tomorrow. We're covering the game. We're going to do the live watch along for Everton against Southampton, the final ever game at Goodison Park. Saying farewell to the grand old lady. We're going to do the game, and yeah, it's sad. I don't like that we keep knocking down these cathedrals of football, these great, historic stadiums to build these soulless corporate balls with. I don't like it. I hate the idea that Manchester United are going to knock down Old Trafford. I always hated the idea that Liverpool might well leave Anfield. It never ever sat well with me. And it's 2-1 in Leipzig. Baku has scored. 2-1 to Leipzig. Yeah, so if I'm honest with you, mate, I'm really sad that Goodison's going. It's been a stadium for well over 100 years. Pele played there. There's been some great games at Goodison Park. It's not a particularly modern stadium, but you don't want a modern stadium all the time, I don't think. And look, the stadium that they've got, Bramley Moordock, or should we say the Hill Dickinson Stadium, which it is now called. That's going to be the new stadium name. I'm not sure if you've seen that in Germany, but that is what it's called. They've announced that Everton's new stadium is sponsored by Hill Dickinson, the law firm. So yeah, Hill Dickinson Stadium. I'm not sure that's. I don't think it's a name that is in line with Everton's grand history, and I'm pretty sad to see him leaving Goodison Park. Not Skill Aaron, what do you think Spurs' lineup will be for the final? Pretty much the same lineup that they played, not last game, the game before. So it's probably going to be Vicario in goal, Vicario in goal, Porro, right back, Van de Ven, Romero, Udogie. Midfield will be Sarr, Bentancur, maybe Bergval. He might come in. If not, then it might be Archie Gray. And then it'll be a front three of probably Brennan Johnson, Solanke, and maybe Son. Maybe they start Son. That's the only thing I can think of with them, to be honest. Adam 464AD, one place above relegation with a positive goal difference is something for the record books. Sam Holloway, why did Goodison need to change? What was the reason behind it? Two things really. Modernisation. Yeah, it's a lot of it is wood. The stadium is very limited in terms of space. There's not an awful lot that you can do with Goodison to improve it and update it and upgrade it. It looks pretty architecturally poor, I guess. I mean, not from my perspective. I like the way Goodison Park looks. I like those sorts of stadiums, and I'd much rather that than what Everton are moving to. I'm all for stadiums being renovated and redesigned and maybe a new roof put on or a new stand or whatever, the same way they've done with Anfield. But I would always rather teams stay in their rightful place. It's quite sad to me that St James's Park is on about being knocked down. Newcastle Stadium, St James's Park being torn down. Stamford Bridge, another one. Chelsea being torn down. Arsenal have already knocked down Highbury. Spurs knocked down White Hart Lane. West Ham knocked down Upton Park. These are great, great football cathedrals, the things that we've grown up loving. I don't like to see them knocked down. I want us to see teams stay where they are and shun the whole move to a big corporate arena. You don't want it. That's not where you should be playing football. But yeah, Goodison Park had obstructed views. It had, wooden parts to it. It probably needed some safety issues in years to come. But yeah, it's a good old stadium, Goodison Park, and it'd be sad to see it go. Michael, Goodison is across from Stanley Park from Anfield. How far is their new stadium from Anfield? Well, the new stadium is closer to the city centre. It's right near the docks on the waterfront. So, if you come into Liverpool city centre, you're far more likely to see Everton Stadium than you are Anfield. Anfield is almost a 15-minute, maybe not 15-minute, but maybe 10 minutes away from the main Liverpool train station, Liverpool Lime Street. If you're coming into Liverpool, it's a taxi ride or a bus to Anfield, whereas in theory you can probably walk down to the front and go and see Everton's. Sam Holloway, was it your live where someone said they're going to use it for the women's team? Yes, they are. They are going to use it for the women's team. They've announced that that's what they're going to do, which I think is a really, really good thing. Yeah, really positive thing, isn't it? Right, we've got 4 minutes of added on time here. 4 minutes of added on time at Freiburg. Just realised I've skipped ahead before. Let's sync the clock up. There you go. We're all synced up now, are we? Yeah, we're synced up. Well, there's 4 minutes of added on time here in Freiburg. Mainz above Leipzig now. Better goal difference. This is it. Goal difference is going to play a really, really big thing today. I'm really intrigued to see how the end table looks. Dortmund have to score. If Dortmund win by 2 or 3 today, they probably get Champions League football. Assuming Frankfurt lose here against Freiburg. It's a really big end to the season. Really, really big end to the season. It's exactly the sort of end to the season you want. You love watching this stuff. It's brilliant. But yeah, I'll just run through the half-time scores. We aren't quite half-time here. Freiburg, it was one of the later games that kicked off. But we've got Augsburg 1, Union Berlin 0. Dortmund 1, Holstein Kiel 0. Kiel have had a player sent off in that one as well. So Dortmund need to score a couple more. It's obviously Freiburg 1, Frankfurt 0 here. Heidenheim 0, Werder Bremen 2. Hoffenheim 0, Bayern Munich 1, the champions. Michael Elise has scored there. Mainz 1, Leverkusen 0. That one's still ongoing. We're in the 53rd minute there. But they are still winning. Mainz. Mönchengladbach 0, Wolfsburg 0, RB Leipzig 2, Stuttgart 1 as well. And St. Pauli 0, Bochum 1. Bottom of the league, Bochum. See, I love this. They're showing the top 10 goals so far. Oh no, the top 11 goals so far in the Bundesliga this season. Let's see what goals they give. The top 11 goals in the Bundesliga. Oh, that was a great shoot. Who was that? Is that Holstein Kiel? Kiel against Stuttgart. Steven Skripski. Kiel against Stuttgart. Honeyed Voices, crazy to think only 6 teams have scored less league goals this season than Freiburg. Wow. I know. It's mad, isn't it? Absolutely mad. That was a good goal. I think the keeper should do better there, but that's the 11th goal of the season. 11th best goal of the season according to Oh my God, that you're not beating that. How is that only 10th? Leopold Querfeld for Union Berlin against Stuttgart. How is that only 10th? Do you know what? I've watched him a few times this season as well. I don't know how I missed that. That is a absolute screamer. A screamer from Querfeld. Michael Kieran, I guess the move to the new stadium is all about increasing revenue. Bigger stadiums, increasing capacity means greater profits for the ownership. Sign of the times, I'm afraid. Out with the old. Yeah, isn't that incredibly sad? Isn't that incredibly sad? It really is. And look, I understand football needs to move forward, but I just reject it flat out. Okay. Nadia Mamiri with the 9th best goal of the season for Mainz against Union Berlin. That was a good free kick. 24, Shirok boy, bro, Leverkusen letting me down. Why would you back Leverkusen? I don't know why you would back Leverkusen. He was never ever going to put a performance in today. To be honest, they've been patchy for a while, Leverkusen. They've only got one win in the last 4 or 5 games. They've been pretty poor. Frankfurt have scored. It's equaliser. There you go. That's a big goal. That's a very big goal for Frankfurt. Bang on half-time. Nauf has scored. 1-1. Let's get the old animation up. Frankfurt 1-1. We knew that was coming. We're just about approaching half-time as well. Sam Holloway, are they still going to do it when Liverpool are at home, Everton are away and vice versa, or will they stop that now? No, I think they'll still do that, yeah, because it's still within the city, but yeah, there's a fair distance between the two grounds now. Jonathan Excel, looks like Mainz will play Europa League if they finish 6th, yeah. Sobby Lobby, who do you think deserved the Ballon d'Or? Salah. Yeah, I think Salah. I think Rafinha is the one that everyone wants to win it, but I think Salah will be the one that should. Jonathan Excel, it's still not decided who will be the Bundesliga 2 champions. Goals between HSV and Cologne, yeah. Dortmund has to score 3 goals to put Frankfurt in the Europa League, but only if Frankfurt lose. And as it stands, Frankfurt have just got a goal back. So, again, it's all... Frankfurt have equalised against Freiburg. Jonathan Excel, why not Yamal for Ballon d'Or? Salah's been better. The thing with Lamine Yamal is because he's so young. It's because he's so young. He's had a fantastic season for Barcelona, but I just don't think that he's had the same quality of season that Mo Salah has. And Salah's also been doing it for a much longer period of time as well. So, yeah, if we're talking best player in the world, it is definitely Mo Salah. Most goals, most assists, most chances created. It's Mo Salah every single time. "24 Shidok boy, I just need Alex Garcia, 2 shots on target." 24 Shidok boy, if Yamal wins, it's fixed. Right, sorry, I did just need to stop the clock for half-time. So, it is half-time. It is 1-1 in Freiburg. Match day 1, Elvis Rechekbai. I think I pronounced that well. There's no way I've pronounced that right. Absolutely ping that in the top corner. They're still showing the best goals of the season here. Jonathan Excel, but he's still 17. Look what he's won and how many assists and goals already. Yeah, no, and it's brilliant. No one's denying it's brilliant. I just don't think it's as good as Mo Salah. Just don't think he's as good as Mo Salah. Salah's been doing it for like 8 years now, mate. 8, 9 years. So consistent. If Yamal wins it, it's fixed. But yeah, he's a very, very good player. We all like Lamine Yamal. Very, very good player. Potential. Yeah, I mean, look, there's a lot of people who will say he's got the potential to be another, Leo Messi, and maybe he does. But I think he's a long way from that just yet. If he keeps it up. 24-year-old boy Salah won't win it purely because he isn't Spanish, Brazilian or Portuguese. I know, but I think that's also a reason why he might win it. Because he's African, and we haven't seen an African Ballon d'Or winner since kind of George Weah in the 90s. Sammy Eto'o could have won it many, many years ago when Inter got the treble. Didn't win it. So yeah, I think because he's African, he might get it as almost like a little bit of tokenism, I guess, to show that it's not for that reason. To show that we're the totally unbiased journalists who pick these players based on merit, which we all know that isn't the case. We all know that they would love to give it to Lamine Yamal. Even if they don't believe he's the best player in the world right now, they'd love to give it to him because he's the new poster child. He's the one who the golden boy, this new star, the one that they can put on the advertising hoardings. He is a lot more marketable than Mo Salah. Maybe he is, anyway, at least outside of the Western world or outside of the Middle East. In the Middle East, certainly it's Mo Salah, isn't it? He's the most famous sort of, Muslim figure in the world. So again, really, really big marketability in that part of the world. But I think maybe in other parts of the world, Lamine Yamal, because he's so young, because he's got that star quality, I think they'd love to give it to him. But I don't agree for 1 second that he's better than Mo Salah. 24-year-old boy, has Vinny Jr. won it yet? No. Vinny Jr. hasn't won it yet. There was uproar, wasn't there, last season that Vinny Jr. hadn't won it, so. Right, so as we say, the scores at half-time: Leipzig 2-1 up against Stuttgart, Dortmund 1-0 up against Holstein Kiel, Bayern 1-0 up against Hoffenheim, Heidenheim losing 2-0 at home to Bremen, Freiburg here 1-1 with Frankfurt, Augsburg 1-0 up against Union Berlin, Mainz 1-0 up against Leverkusen, Mönchengladbach 0-0 with Wolfsburg, and St. Pauli losing at home to bottom of the table Bochum. 24-year-old boy Lewis Skelly is the new poster boy. God, I hope not. He's shocking. He's not. He's a good player. Lewis Skelly. I just think he's he's one of them. Stay humble. It is that whole stay humble. He's got an attitude. Don't like the attitude. I think you just need to rein it in a little bit. You're not that good. Know your place, sort of thing. You get that a little bit. There's elements of that with a lot of young players when they first come through, but you've just got to kind of tell them, wind your neck in a little bit. Come on, wind your neck in. I think it's a respect thing, innit? It's a respect thing. Like, Lewis Skelly treating... he didn't clap, apparently, did he? He didn't clap when Liverpool walked out for the Guard of Honour. And I was, he's just as annoyed when, he was not a young player when he did it, but Bernardo Silva did that as well. And there was just as much uproar. But he was obviously in his kind of mid to late 20s when he had to do it. But I think with Lewis Skelly, it's because he's so young, isn't it? He's so young, and he's giving that sort of a, side eye. Still a kid, to be fair. Yeah, and that's it. I think because he's a kid. If he wasn't a kid, if he was in his 25, if he was as old as Bernardo Silva was when he did that, and he was giving that sort of an attitude, then you'd look at it and go, well, all right, he's just a bit of a wind-up merchant. But because he's a kid, and because he's so good as well, you'd almost want to keep him in check, and you want to, because he could be, and should be, to be honest, England's starting left back for many, many years to come, or maybe into England's midfield if Nico O'Reilly kicks on. Nico O'Reilly's tremendous. He's absolutely fantastic. Chelsea forever. Bundesliga is cooking. It's a great day. A fantastic day here in the final game of the Bundesliga. It's very, very surprising, some of the scores already. 24-year-old boy Yamal also needs humbling. I don't like the diving with Lamine Yamal. Don't like the diving. That's the frustrating thing for me. I hope he gets that out of his game, because he's done that a few times now, where he's... There's a difference between, you know, going down and kind of staying down and holding your arm and holding your leg, trying to make sure that you get the foul. I get all that. But there's actual diving, and it feels like Yamal does go across into that quite a lot. 24-year-old boy Rudiger stood on my boy's stomach. Now, well, the players are coming back out. Well, the players are in the tunnel. They're about to come back out. And you can see elsewhere, across the Bundesliga, the players are starting to come back out elsewhere. They're already underway in Augsburg, where it is 1-0 against Union Berlin. They're already underway there. And they're about to get underway, I think. They're just showing the pictures of Leipzig against Stuttgart. They're almost ready to get started there. They're underway against Hoffenheim and Bayern. Chelsea, tomorrow I'm in Cologne against Kaiserslautern. Hope we go for promotion. Nice. Yeah, that'll be a good game. Really good game, that. Enjoy it. Blurry, if Crystal Palace wins the FA Cup, do they go to the Europa League? Yes, they do. Yes, Oliver Glasner will have them back in the Europa League. I say back in, but they'll have them in the Europa League. That'll be good for them. Honeyed Voices, where was the first African and non-European player to win the Ballon d'Or? I still think Rafinha deserves it, because Salah has never had a Champions League season like this. And he scored 5 goals, 2 assists versus Madrid this year. Do we think that that's the metric for winning the Ballon d'Or? The goals and assists scored against Madrid? Like I say, I've no problem at all with Rafinha. I just don't think that Rafinha is the best player in the world. And I don't think he ever will be. He's a good player. He's a very good player. Same with Dembele. I think if next... Here's the surprise, right? If next season, Dembele and Rafinha have... Let's say just an okay season. A season like they had last season, let's say. Right? Dembele and Rafinha have those seasons. Nobody's surprised. Nobody is surprised. If Salah has a season next year where he only scores maybe 8 or 9 or 10 goals, and maybe only assists a small number as well, everyone is absolutely surprised by how poor Mo Salah has been. This could be just a phenomenal one-off season for Rafinha. It could be a phenomenal one-off season for Dembele. There's not a consistent pattern. Now, Lamine Yamal, I think, is closer to winning it than either of those two. I think it's Salah or Yamal. That's my opinion. And I think they really want to give it to Yamal, but they have to give it to Salah. That's where I see it going. Callum, it's 24-year-old boy, so there has been an African winner. I thought, yeah, George Weah. George Weah in 95 or 96. He was a fabulous player, George Weah, as well. Really, really good player for AC Milan. Later came to City and Chelsea in the Premier League in his twilight years, but he was very good at PSG as well. A Liberian player. I think is he the Liberian president these days? George Weah. Very good player. Right, Dortmund have scored again. It's 2-0. Dortmund are 2-0 up. Callum City lineup: Ortega, Akanji, Diaz, Gvardiol, O'Reilly, Silva, KDB, Marmoush, Haaland, Doku. Right, City are winning it. City are winning it. That's it. It's done. Kieran Baines, just random. Do you think Saka is a bit like Theo Walcott, as in he was young too? I think Saka could be not guilty, but Saka could be the victim of the same sort of thing that plagued Walcott and plagued Michael Owen too as well, in terms of, muscle injuries. And he got a lot of them, Michael Owen, and it kind of ruined his pace, and he ended up not being the same player once he got past 26, 27, 28. And I think we might see a little bit of that with Saka. Maybe Saka becomes a very good player over the next... I mean, he's already a top player, but maybe he becomes much better over the next few seasons, but actually his longevity is affected, and as he gets into his late 20s, we might see a little bit of what happens. Look at Sterling. There's a little bit of that with Raheem Sterling, isn't there? Raheem Sterling doesn't have that explosive pace anymore, and he's still in his 20s. Because he's had those muscle injuries, those things, they take an edge off you. And I think Saka's probably going to be the same. I hope not, for his sake. But I do think that's going to be the same. Callum, Honeyed, 17-18, Salah, Mane, Firmino, all had 10 plus Champions League goals. Great front three, that. 24, Shirok Boy, I like how Rafinha came from the mud, though. Yeah. That's it. Rafinha and Dembele have kind of come out of nowhere. They've both been very good players for a while. We've liked them, but not Ballon d'Or winners. Whereas Salah could have won Ballon d'Ors in years gone by. And it feels like Lamine Yamal, whatever happens this year, Lamine Yamal will win at least one Ballon d'Or in his career in the future. So that's why I think that Rafinha and Dembele will be discounted. They're anomalies. They aren't long-term top players. They are potentially just one-offs, and that's why they'll not be considered, I don't think, in a serious way. So if I'm dead honest, I think it's going to be Salah or Yamal. Right, we're still not off. Every other game is off and underway here, but we're still not off here in Freiburg. Still waiting for kick-off in the second half, which is a little bit concerning, actually, because we've got the FA Cup, which kicks off at past, and if we don't get to... I might have to turn this off before the FA Cup final starts. If we don't get to the... Because I can't miss the FA Cup final. We've got to start the FA Cup final. Veni, Vidi, Vici. Whoever wins the Champions League, one of their players will get it. No. That doesn't happen that a lot. It doesn't happen all the time, that. Vim Malfay, Mönchengladbach 1, Wolfsburg 0. And Veni Vidi Vici, you think 3-1 to Palace. Okay. Honeyed Voices. Rafinha has tied the most goals and assists in a single Champions League season this year. Even broke Messi's Champions League record. Scored 3 goals and assists in every Champions League knockout over 2 legs, including against Inter. He also got 2 goals and assists in a final. And again, yeah, that's all really, really good. But I just... the fact that it could be a one-off, it could be an anomaly, probably makes it unlikely that he gets it. That's just my opinion. There are lots and lots of players over the years who've had these outstanding one-off seasons, and they never follow, or some of them don't follow it up. Some do, and having a great season, having one great season is possible. Having multiple back-to-back great seasons is where it becomes, really, really. That's where you separate your top players from your very good players. Oh, this is alarming. We need to get back underway. And we are. We are underway in Freiburg again. Asking ye shall receive. Freiburg 1, Eintracht Frankfurt 1. Freiburg need to score. They need to score to get back into those Champions League places. As it stands, it's going to be Frankfurt and Dortmund. Dortmund overtaking Freiburg. They're 2-0 up against Holstein Kiel. Kiel have a man down as well, so chances are Dortmund have got it. Unless Freiburg can get one more, Dortmund are in the Champions League, as are Frankfurt. As are Frankfurt. And Freiburg miss out. That's what it's looking like. Honeyed Voices, fair play, respect your opinion. And yours too, mate. And yours too. And again, who knows? We'll reconvene, I'm sure. If you're around when the Ballon d'Or is given, pop on and we'll have a chat about it. But I'll remember you. Kieran Baines, we talk about Harry have finally won a trophy, but we forgot Eric Dyer winning a trophy too, yeah. I mean, Eric Dyer's won things in sporting. Didn't Eric Dyer win things in Portugal as well? I'm sure he won something in Portugal. Right, it's 2-0 to Bayern Munich. Kimmich has scored for Bayern Munich against Hoffenheim. So that puts them 2-0 up. 24 Shirak boy, bro, I swear if the 17-year-old kid wins the best player in the world, I will not be happy. Saka's had a better start to his career, let's be real. I think they're looking for a new poster child, a new star. And Lamine Yamal fits all the bills. He fits all of the criteria, and I'm sure he will at some point win a Ballon d'Or, whether it's this season or next or whatever. But it has been a good game, this. I've got to be honest. It has been a good game, this. Ekitike has forced... we talked about Ekitike maybe not playing so well, and he didn't really start the game all that well. But Ekitike has come into the game. He's forced Atubolu to make some big saves in this one. And they are coming back into it, just ever so slightly, Frankfurt. Obviously, they get the goal. Yeah, it's been a couple of good saves from Noah Atubolu. Very, very good saves to keep him out. And at the other end as well, to be honest. I mean, obviously, Doan scores. A couple of other chances for Freiburg, getting forward, getting into the box. So, yeah. And already there's a claim for a penalty as well. There was a claim for a penalty there from Eintracht Frankfurt. I think it was... Is it Manzambi? I think it's Manzambi. Freiburg's... There's a claim for a handball in the box. The referee's waved play on. It's not going to be a penalty. But there was a check. And it's been waved away. But Manzambi... Yeah, I don't think you're getting a penalty for that. Nah, you're not getting a penalty for that. No chance. But it is a penalty at Leverkusen. Mainz v Leverkusen. So it's in Mainz, sorry. And it'll be Mainz 1, Leverkusen 1 in a few moments, I'm sure. 24 Shirak boy. Oh, sorry, I'm just trying to catch up with everything. Yeah, Mainz 1, Leverkusen 1. Patrick Schick. M15-7, remember Leighton Baines? Of course, yeah, Leighton Baines is a very good player. Really, really good left back. Very, very good. Kieran Baines, I think Doan is a quality player. Yeah. Yeah, he's very, very talented player. He hasn't quite, I would argue, hit the heights of his time before at PSV. Thought he was really good at PSV. He's done all right when he's gone to Freiburg this season, but previous years I think he's taken a bit of time to build up to that. He's still only young. Still, what is he, 24? He's a bit younger, a bit older than that, isn't he? Maybe 25, 26? But he's, a very good player. It's a goal in Leipzig. It's a goal in Leipzig. It's 2-2. It's a good game there. RB Leipzig 2, Stuttgart 2 in that one. Goal's just coming up. I'm assuming it's from a corner. Honeyed Voices, a bit off topic, but Freiburg is the town where the greatest German opera tenor learned how to sing. Look up Fritz Wunderlich if you're interested. Best version of the magic flute ever. Oh, I love that. See, I'm a big I know it's not quite the same. I love Andre Rieu. Andre Rieu is one of my... So I love all that kind of music and operetta stuff, and I absolutely adore it. So, yeah, Andre Rieu would be one of my favourites. I'd love to go and see him live. But I will look that up. I'm interested in that sort of stuff. So I will have a look at Fritz Wunderlich, the best version of the magic flute ever. Nice. Thank you for sharing that with us. I appreciate that, mate. 24 Shirak boy, where will Osimhen call his new home? Good question. Probably Saudi. He strikes me as a player who'll go to Saudi and take the cash, and he'll get big money, won't he? I can't see him going to the Premier League. Kieran Baines would love to see Doan in the Premier League. I mean, he's got a lot of qualities of a Premier League-wide player. Maybe a Brighton would look at Doan. He seems like he could maybe fit in well in one of those teams, maybe just outside the top 6. Brighton, Bournemouth, Fulham, maybe Brentford, yeah. Some good teams. M15-7, old Prem was unbelievable. Andre Rieu is a quality pick. Yeah, I've wanted to go and watch him. I've never actually gone and watched Andre Rieu, but I've always wanted to go and watch one of his kind of open door concerts in Maastricht. We are veering away from the topic of football here ever so slightly. We might have to reconvene on this one, Honeyed Voices. But thank you so much for you've kindled my passion in music there, just by mentioning the Magic Flute. But yeah, Andre Rieu, one of my favourites. To be honest with you, I wake up most mornings to Debussy and all that sort of stuff. Clair de Lune, love all that. I love that sort of music. Well, there's goals flying in everywhere. And there's a goal again. Mainz 1, Leverkusen 2. Someone in the chat was talking about they wanted Leverkusen. Is it you, Shirota boy? You were talking about Leverkusen you needed. Well, Leverkusen have scored. They've gone ahead. Schick scored a penalty 5 minutes ago, and Schick has scored again from open play this time. So 2-1 to Bayer Leverkusen away at Mainz. And here's me laughing at you earlier, telling you I didn't think that Leverkusen would get anything today, but yeah, it looks like they will. Looks like they're going to get the win over Mainz. And as it stands, it's going to be Leipzig who make the Europa Conference League place ahead of Mainz, and Freiburg are going to make the Europa League place with Dortmund nicking in front. Unless we can get a goal here. Unless there is a goal. Atibolu's had to be at his absolute best. Atibolu's done well. He's had a couple of really big saves to keep Freiburg in it, and yeah, they're missing some of the big players. They're missing Gregoric and various others who you maybe could put up there. Junior Adamu's not had a great game. Yeah, I think Freiburg need to start causing him a bit more problems, because as it stands, Frankfurt have been the better of the two teams. And they nearly had, they didn't nearly have a penalty. There was a VAR check. There was a VAR check for the penalty to Frankfurt early in the second half. 24 Shirok boy, does it annoy you when pundits like Keane and Scholes downplay how good the Prem has become? Come on, Leverkusen. No, mate, if I'm honest, I disagree. I agree with them. We've been talking on this channel a few times about exactly that I actually think the quality of football overall has diminished quite rapidly. And I think if you put many of the top players in football today, if you put them in 20 years ago, I'm not sure they'd last. Like, I don't think Lamine Yamal is anywhere near as good as Lionel Messi. And you'll never convince me otherwise. And I don't think there's a central midfielder in world football who could get close to Zidane or Gerrard ever. And it's not just me being stubborn with that. I think the whole game of football has changed. Michael, Eric Dyer did play for Sporting Lisbon earlier in his career. The final matches of the Portuguese league starts at 6 this evening. If Sporting match or better Benfica results, they win the league. Yes. Yeah, Sporting have got Is it Guimarães? Sporting have got Guimarães at home, and Benfica have got Braga away. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. We won't be watching it, of course. We're going to be doing Strasbourg against Le Havre in League One to see how Liam Rossigna gets on. Ball into the box, cleared away. 24-year rock boy. The defensive side of football now is insane. Yeah, it's insane because there's a lot less chances taken. Feels like football has become percentage football. It's Pep Guardiola's game, and it's a lot of pass. I don't like how football's often become. It's certainly in England. There's not a lot of chances taken, and it's sort of infected grassroots football as well. There's no individuals in football anymore. It's a pale shadow of its former self. But I agree. We now have some real physical specimens at the back. I think Virgil van Dijk is probably the anomaly in that you could put him at the back of Terry, Vidic, Rio Ferdinand, Puyol, and Sergio Ramos as well. You could drag them back, and they sort of supersede all eras, those defenders. But if you look at other defenders, other top players who we call top defenders now, like I really like Ibrahima Konate. I like Gabriel. I like Saliba. I don't think any of them can hold a candle to, in terms of pure defensive, like reading the game. I would argue Sami Hyypiä. Sami Hyypiä is a better defender than all of them. And he was never, ever top. Sami Hyypiä was unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Jamie Carragher was never a great defender. He just worked his socks off and read the game really well. He was a student of the game. Honeyed Voices, you'd love Gymnopedia from City if you like Debussy. I'd also love to see Doan at Brighton. Or to replace Eze at Palace. That's a good shout. Yeah, Doan maybe drifting in from the right to replace Eze at Palace. That'd be quite good. 24-year-old boy Trubo, have you seen the stat that says in the last 10 years or so the number of free kicks and penalties are lower than ever, but red cards are higher than ever? I think that's more to do with referees than necessarily the aggression within the game. I tell you what, there's been a steady decrease year on year, and it's mainly been. This is why I'm more attracted by the Bundesliga, Liga, and La Liga. All of those other leagues have not seen anywhere near as much of a sharp decrease in long shots. And you can draw pretty much a straight line from when Pep Guardiola came to the Premier League, but even before that, it was dropping. For such a long time, for at least the last 15 years, the number of long shots in the Premier League has steadily dwindled. It's teams taking less and less of a chance, less and less of a risk. They don't want to have a shot from distance. And they're the goals we all enjoy the most, aren't we? They're all the ones we enjoy the most. Honeyed Voices, does Amorim get a medal if Sporting win the league? I think players get a medal if they get transferred in the middle of a season from a club that wins their league. That's a good question. I wonder if... Do you know what? That would have been amazing. That would have been amazing. If Manchester United had gone down, in theory, Amorim could have won the league and got relegated in the same season. But yes, possibly. That does make a little bit of sense. So, yeah. Heidenheim have scored. Sorry, Bremen have scored against Heidenheim, and it's a goal here. Eintracht Frankfurt has scored. It's 2-1. 2-1 to Frankfurt. 2-1. Thomas Muller has just been subbed in his final match for Bayern Munich. I thought that had already happened. Didn't he walk off the pitch and it was like a big thing? Who is it who scored? It's Christensen who scored. Freiburg, it's falling apart for him. Frankfurt has scored, and that does mean that Freiburg are looking not so good, not so hot for the Champions League now. They need to score 2. They need to really turn this round. But it is 2-1 Frankfurt. Let's get the old score animation up on YouTube. I've got to say, I don't know, lads, in the chat on YouTube, by the way. We're still on with TikTok as well. I'm still reading the TikTok. I'm still reading Twitch and X and Instagram and Facebook. But I've got to say, Honeyed Voices, Michael, 24 Shirok Boy. You guys need to come back more. I like the chat. I very much like the chat. Absolutely love the chat. High quality chat. Please like and subscribe. Please come back again. I really enjoy you being in the chat. M157, who are you watching, mate? We are watching, currently, Freiburg 1, Eintracht Frankfurt 2, and the final day of the Bundesliga season. See, let's all laugh at United sitting 16th in the table. Banter Club. Caleb, come on, you Palace. Reese, score prediction for the playoff final Saturday. Reese, I think it's going to be 2-1 Sheffield United. I'm hoping that Sunderland win. I'm really hoping they win, but I think it's going to be Sheffield United, sadly. Yeah, sadly. Yep, goal, Werder Bremen, 3-0. M157 can't get a break with United. I really thought Freiburg would get something today. I really thought they would. I've got Freiburg or draw bet, so I'm really hoping that they can turn it round. It's 2-2. It's 2-2 in Mainz. I should have said 2-2 very clearly that it wasn't here. 2-2 in Mainz. Jonathan Burkhardt has scored. A player that I really rate very, very highly. He's got a great goal return this season for Mainz. Jonathan Burkhardt. It's a penalty for him today, but a very, very big goal. Oh, and it's 3. It's 3. It's 3-1 Frankfurt. It's 3-1 Frankfurt. That might well be it now. That might well be it. I think Frankfurt have got it in the bag. 3-1. Yeah. Great goal. Great goal. Really, really well worked goal, that. I don't know who scored it. Skiri. Skiri has scored. Skiri has scored. Unless it goes down as an own goal, maybe. Yeah, it might actually. It might be going down as an own goal, that one. Manzambi. Yeah, I think it might be an own goal, but it's Christensen with the second rather for Frankfurt and put them 2-1 up, and you know, a couple of minutes later we're talking about another one, and it's 3-1 to Frankfurt. 3-1. Michael, Kieran, I've only just come across your podcast in the last week and a half. Although I'm a Leeds United supporter, I love football in general, and I've already subbed to your podcast, which is very good. Thanks, Michael. You're an absolute gent. Thank you, sir. Honeyed Voices, you have an excellent channel, solid ball knowledge, cover a lot of interesting races like Strasbourg and Freiburg this year. You should have more followers. Still sad Freiburg are losing, but chapeau. Hey, mate, that's the same. I am a little bit sad that Freiburg are losing. Disappointing, that. Really, really disappointing. Because I did think they would. I thought they'd get something today. But, alas, that is football. That is what we have to... And look, Freiburg getting Europa League, that's still good. They've had a good season. Getting them into Europe, that's still a big achievement, you have to say. Big achievement. Schuster will be very proud. Is Schuster any relation to Bernd Schuster, by the way? Is he any relation? No. I thought he was. 24 shot boy. Imagine signing Wayne Rooney for 27 million, who becomes your record goal scorer ever, to then pay 72 million for Rasmus Højlund. God forbid. Hey, listen. United have not just had Rasmus Højlund's the least of the concerns. But yeah, for what it's worth, Michael, Honeyed Voices, we have with the channel is very, very new. So the fact that we've only got 5,000 on YouTube, I'm really proud of it. Really proud of it. But we have only been going since January. And we've actually only been doing these lives, these sorts of lives, for a very short period of time. So I'm planning on doing them all next season. We're going to still be doing at least 60 live watch-alongs every single month. So yeah, hopefully the channel keeps growing. Dortmund have scored again. It's 3-0 Dortmund against Holstein Kiel. That seals it for them. Nemesha has scored. And I think that one might be the end of the road for Freiburg in terms of the Champions League. Right, so it's going to be changes for Frankfurt. By the way, I forgot to tell you that Chaibi's come off and Højlund has come on. We talked about Højlund, funnily enough. It's not that Højlund that has come on. It's the other Højlund. It's the other Højlund. Oscar Højlund, I think is his name. And for Freiburg, it was Rosenfelder who went off. And Kubler, Lucas Kubler's come on. So, it's an odd change, to be honest. Rosenfelder going off for the defender. Another defender. I would have thought they might have taken the opportunity to put a striker on. Michael, Kieran, do you primarily cover Liverpool matches or just a wide range of teams and leagues in general? Your football knowledge is very good. For a 5-month-old podcast, nearly 5k is some going. No, we watch everyone, mate. Yeah, we watch everyone. If you look at if you do take a chance, I'm not telling you to, but if you do look at the channel, the lives that we have done over the last month, even just the last month, we've done over 60 lives in the last month, and they've been from La Liga, the Bundesliga, Liga, Serie A. We've done Celtic against Rangers. We've done the Champions League, the Europa League, the Premier League. And yeah, Liverpool, we've done Liverpool games, of course, but we do everyone. Absolutely everyone. So, no, not at all. It's not a Liverpool fan channel. It is purely a football channel. We watch absolutely everyone. 24, Chinook Boy, you reckon Bernardo Silva will have 2 shots on target today? No, I don't think so. Bernardo Silva tends to buzz around the edge of the area. Really good player, Bernardo Silva. Love him to bits as a player, but Really, really don't like him as a man. He's a horrible, horrible player to play against. It's 3-2 in Leipzig, by the way, as well. Leipzig 2, Stuttgart 3. Kieran Baines, I keep thinking you're talking to me as I'm Kieran too. All legends are named Kieran, I'm led to believe. But it's 3-1 to Frankfurt, and as more and more as the game is going on, it's looking like we're not going to see a comeback here. And I'm starting to put my eyes towards the FA Cup game, Crystal Palace and Manchester City. That kicks off in 23 minutes, and depending on what the referee gives for injury time here, we might have to end the game soon. We'll certainly not end it for another 20 minutes or so, but another 20 minutes, maybe our cut-off point. We might be able to get to 90, and then it'll be the end of the road for Freiburg and Eintracht Frankfurt. I think the game's pretty much done and dusted. I'd be very surprised if Freiburg turn this around at this point. Kieran Beasley, bottom 3, lucky they're so bad, or United and Spurs could be down this year. I prefer League One, big Reading in that league. Nice, okay. Kieran Beasley, come on Palace. We're all rooting for Palace. We are all rooting for Palace. 24-year-old boy Kieran supports Liverpool but has a soft spot for Arsenal and Lewis Skelly. Behave yourself. You know that's not true. Don't be telling lies about me. Gnabry scored for Bayern. Hoffenheim 0, Bayern 3. Time for Eze to shine. Come on Eberechi Eze. Love Eze. Really like Eze. I'd love him to do well today. Love him to do well. Right, so as it stands, it's Augsburg 1, Union Berlin 1, Dortmund 3, Holstein Kiel 0. Freiburg 1, Frankfurt 3 here. Heidenheim 0, Bremen 3. Hoffenheim 0, Bayern 3. Mainz 2, Leverkusen 2. Mönchengladbach 0, Wolfsburg 1. Leipzig 2, Stuttgart 3. And St. Pauli 0, Bochum 2. So it's all going off before the end of the game here. Honeyed Voices, last Freiburg question since you've watched them today. With 70 million from Europa qualification, who would you buy to keep them performing next year? Ooh, now that is a good question. Who would I buy? 70 million or so. Honestly, I would look at trying to get... I think they need a centre forward. I don't think Adamu's quite... The fact that they are in the position that they're in is amazing and shows that they've been well coached. The defensive organisation's been really sound, maybe today aside. But they do lack a little bit of a certain je ne sais quoi up front. So I think they're missing something there. And I think they're probably better off looking at someone within the Bundesliga. And I always would immediately go to players like Burkhardt. If they could get Burkhardt out of Mainz, that would be one I would look at. There's obviously other players around Europe as well they could look at. We've talked about Tierno Barry as well from Villarreal. If Villarreal, they're probably going to qualify for the Champions League, so that'd be tough. But yeah, I'd like to see him. I'd like to see him go for some. To be honest, do you know what? It'd be surprising. There's some in the Premier League I think they could go for. It wouldn't surprise me if Freiburg went and took a look at maybe some players like Dominic Calvert-Lewin on a free from Everton. We know he's got ability. We know he can score goals. I think he'd thrive in the Bundesliga. Yeah, that'd be that. I was thinking there. I was trying to get my eyes and my whole head around who could actually fit in at Freiburg and the system that they play. But yeah, Calvert-Lewin does seem to make a bit of sense. If they're playing a lone centre forward role, that could work on a free, possibly. Kieran, still think it's funny that it's St. Pauli beat Norwich City in the pre-season friendly when St. Pauli only has 32 points. It's 3-3 in Leipzig again. Michael, Kieran, will you be covering the playoff finals, Championship, League 1 and League 2 next bank holiday weekend? Yes, Michael, we will. We're doing all of those. If you do go and take a look, Kieran Beasley, this is the last games in Germany. Yes, it is. Yeah. If you do go and have a look at the schedule, I have got quite a lot of the games that we're doing coming up. So, it's been ruled out. It's been ruled out. I'm not entirely sure why it's been ruled out. Is there going to be a check? It's just coming up now. I'm not entirely sure why this has been ruled out, but it has been ruled out. Yeah, ruled out for a foul. That's frustrating for Leipzig. Have a coffee, bro. I know, mate. Believe it or not, there's only been... Well, there's not been a day. There's not been a single day in April or May where we haven't done a game. We haven't done a watch-along. We do watch-alongs every single day. Copper, can you react to Hamburger, PSV or Barcelona tomorrow? No, tomorrow's a big day. Tomorrow we're doing Everton, Southampton. Then we're doing Arsenal, Newcastle. I think we've got West Ham Forest as well in the middle of that. So yeah, we've got games scheduled pretty much all of tomorrow as well. It's going to be tough to do those, but we will of course keep updated on them. I'm still thinking about that Freiburg question, Honeyed Voices. You've got my head spinning. Michael, Kieran, were you saddened by the booing of Liverpool supporters last weekend at Trent, or were you in agreement? Mo Salah was interviewed about it and said it was sad, as Trent is a long-time servant. Sad, yes. But I personally feel that he has reaped what he has sown in that regard. I think Trent Alexander-Arnold has made his bed and he should lie in it. I'll explain why in a second. Copper, is there a place that you put the schedule? Yeah, so if you go on the channel, I've only uploaded to this point, I think, enough for the next few days. But I am once this game finishes, or once the FA Cup final finishes, I am doing the schedule, the rest of the schedule. So you'll be able to see all of the games that I'm doing to the very end of May. So if you go onto my channel, Premier League Dad on YouTube, you click live, you will see schedule, upcoming fixtures. And if there's any on there that you really want to watch, you can click the notification bell and it will let you know the second that I go live. But I'm doing games every single day, at least one live watch along every single day to the end of the season. And then we're doing the Club World Cup. So yeah, loads going on. But yeah, just to come back to the whole Trent Alexander-Arnold thing, Michael, I think Trent Alexander-Arnold has lied all season. He's lied to the Liverpool fans, he's lied to the Liverpool leadership, and I think he's got it wrong. I think he's got it all wrong. He's been negotiating with Real Madrid and he's known that he was going to Real Madrid for well over 12 months. And he's cost Liverpool the opportunity to replace him. And we could have got ahead of this, because he could have said to Liverpool... Liverpool have actually only known that Trent Alexander-Arnold was leaving in March. He's been saying to Slot and everyone else all season, I might stay. I'm happy to keep talking about it. Keep the contract negotiations ongoing. I'm tempted to stay, but actually, he's never intended to stay. He's never wanted to stay. It's Heidenheim have scored. It's 4-1. Heidenheim 1, Werder Bremen 4. 4-0 to Bayern as well. Mainz Leverkusen still 2-2. Still 3-2 at Leipzig for Stuttgart. Bochum 2-0 up. Wolfsburg 1-0 up. And obviously 3-1 here in the Freiburg Eintracht Frankfurt game. "24, shut up boy, I'll be here tomorrow, bro, to see your genuine love for Arsenal." Hey, listen, you say genuine love for Arsenal. Newcastle fans think I hate them as well. So maybe, I don't know, you both seem to think that I hate the clubs. I have no problem at all with either Arsenal or Newcastle. But yeah, Newcastle fans don't seem to like me all that much either. Kieran BR, what's your most controversial football take? I don't know, mate. I don't try to be controversial, and I don't think I particularly am controversial. I wouldn't say I am controversial. There's some things that some people don't like, and that's fine. Everyone's got opinions, but yeah, I don't think there's anything that's particularly like a hot take or controversial. I think probably the one that seems to be upsetting people at the minute is that I think Newcastle might fall out of the Champions League places. That's the only thing. Even though Newcastle fans seem to think they might get second, I'm kind of saying the opposite, that actually there's still a chance they might not even qualify for the Champions League. So, yeah, there's only really that's upsetting people at the moment. Dokes, thoughts on Everton's new stadium? It's a lovely stadium, looks lovely. Not sure about the name. Not sure about the name, but it's a lovely stadium. It'll pay for your centre forward maybe. But I'm not a fan generally of clubs knocking down stadiums for big soulless arenas. So yeah, I hate the fact that Goodison Park is going. We're doing Goodison Park tomorrow. We're doing the last ever game at Goodison Park. We're going to be doing that live tomorrow. Sad to see the grand old lady go, but we'll be doing that one. And yeah, the new stadium, obviously they'll go into it next season, and we'll see how they adapt to it. Will it be everything they're hoping it'll be? Something tells me it might not be. Honeyed Voices, Frimpong will be a better right back than Trent. For all Trent's greatness as a passer, I think he's cost Liverpool titles in losing seasons because of his defending. That's very fair. That's a very fair assessment. Yeah, I think I agree with that. He's a really... I don't think Trent is a bad defender, but he's also not a very good one. So his exceptional qualities going forward, and they are exceptional. I'm not underplaying that because he's leaving. He is, for me, the best right back in the world. I would, if I could keep Trent, I would keep him, and you can keep Frimpong, no problem. If I could keep Trent, he would be the one I would keep. That said, he has, it's fair to say, not been brilliant defensively. His 1v1s aren't always that great. His concentration has let Liverpool down at times. You could see that in the Man United game at Anfield earlier this season. He cost Liverpool 2 goals. He very nearly cost us a third. And look, we don't talk about them as Liverpool fans. We never really talked about them because we always would focus on the games that he's won us. Forget the games he's cost us. He's won us an awful lot of games as well. So no one was ever really bothered as a Liverpool fan about those errors from Trent. Michael, I'm surprised to see Liverpool were not invited to the Club World Cup. Yet Manchester City and Chelsea were invited, and in recent years, Chelsea have achieved very little. I think it's the last 2 winners of European competitions. I believe that was the criteria. And City were the last Champions League winners. Chelsea were the last Europa League winners, I believe. Is that right? No, that's not right. Is it? I think it is right, isn't it? I'm sure that was the criteria. I don't know why I'm saying that. Honeyed Voices. No, we covered that bit. Michael, I'm led to understand the winners of the Club World Cup get $1 billion or pounds. If that's true, that's insane. But I can't see that being the case. Surely not. 1 billion. 1 billion. It's outrageous if true. 24 should boy Trent better than Hakimi. Hakimi's been very good this season. Better than Trent, undoubtedly. But if you're asking me, would I swap Trent for Hakimi? The answer's no. The answer's no. I would absolutely keep Trent. Honeyed Voices, do you think Liverpool can keep Konate with his contract running out? He's won everything except the Champions League. I'd love to keep Konate, but I think sadly we're going to be in a similar position with him that we are with Trent, and that actually it might make sense if he's not going to sign a contract to just accept the highest offer this summer. And if that's from Madrid, then maybe Madrid get 2 Liverpool players this year. And good luck to him, because he's an exceptional defender. I really like him. I wish he'd stay. And I hope he signs a new contract. I hope he does. But if he doesn't, I think the club might be tempted to cash in this summer. Right, we've not got long left here. We are into the last sort of 5 minutes of normal time. I'm tempted to just wind it up here because we've got the FA Cup final starting in 9 minutes and I have to end this live, start a new one, change the scoreboard. There's a whole host of things I've got to do just to make sure everything's right and working for the stream. So I might start to wrap up. I might start to wrap up in terms of the this particular live. Sam Holloway, what was that comment about the Club World Cup? Michael on the YouTube chat said, Sam, that he thought the winners of the Club World Cup got £1 billion or $1 billion. That was the prize money the winners got. So that's his understanding. I don't know how true that is, but that's what we were talking about. Right, Hoffenheim and Bremen has finished. Hoffenheim and Bayern has finished. Werder Bremen and Heidenheim has finished. St. Pauli and Bochum has finished. Dortmund and Kiel has finished. Union Berlin, I thought they might have scored a late winner at Augsburg, but they haven't. I'll catch you after the City game, bro. No worries. Cheers, 24, shut up, boy. Appreciate that. There's a VAR check in Augsburg. Union Berlin could yet win the game. Honeyed voices, Hakimi or DeMarco? Hakimi. I'd rather Hakimi. I like DeMarco, though. DeMarco's a very good player as well. But yeah, I think Hakimi's been different class this season. Mendes has been great as well for PSG. Koundé, I think, has been terrific for Barca. He was a big loss. The goal has been given for Union Berlin. It's a goal. Illich has scored last minute, literally last kick of the game in Augsburg to make it 2-1 to Augsburg in Union Berlin. It's finished in Mönchengladbach. Mönchengladbach 0, Wolfsburg 1. It's nearly time up in Leipzig. We're into injury time. Added time at the end of injury time in that one. Stuttgart and Leipzig. Mainz and Leverkusen going into the 90th minute. This one's going into the 90th minute here. Eintracht Frankfurt and Freiburg. I think that one's pretty much done and dusted, though. But yeah, I was going to say, listen, if you're watching us on TikTok, go Kieran, they're walking out now. Okay, right, let's wrap it up. Let's finish. This one's 3-1. It's game over. I can't see Freiburg coming back in the next 2-3 minutes. We're going to go to the FA Cup final. I'm going to end the live. I'm going to restart the live on the FA Cup final. If you're staying with me, make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you get over to YouTube, all that good stuff. And I will see you in about 2 or 3 minutes.